Hey everyone, it's Nadeem from Colin Campbell Chemicals here. I just did shoot this video as I was walking from the convention centre to where I've got to go now. Apologise for all that, so I'm going to try to do everything again off the top of my head as I did before. So this is day one of the, I'm going to call it day one of the GCSAA show and conference. So I'm really annoyed about that, but I might try to get a few more, and I'll do another video actually. I've got to walk back up north, so I'm in the southern part of the International Drive of the convention, and I'll show some pretty cool stuff with the trade show getting set up. Anyway, so day one of the conference. So I did two talks today. So my first one was on preventing soil-borne diseases, and the second one was on mapping diseases and models available. I'll firstly talk about the models it was. So that was John Kaminsky and Freshner from Maryland University, John obviously from Penn State. So they did the talk together. They talked a little bit about diseases, the epidemiology about it, and just asked questions about what disease everyone gets and the likes like that. And they also looked at going, okay, with the modelling side of thing, what models are out there? How many are out there? There's about 11 when they did the searches of model or prediction models out there. However, quite a few of them are paid, and they utilise models that are already there. They just put it into their data. It's like the Mike Fidanza brown patch model, which tends to be about 75% accuracy, and it's utilised quite a lot within different applications. So they spoke about a couple of ones that one I didn't know called Turfmetrics, and another one called Greenkeeper App, which I do know, which is Bill Kreiser from Nebraska. I think he's still there, I'm not quite sure. But Greenkeeper App, it's a paid service. I think it used to be a free service. I think it's now paid. I will check into that. But I remember talking to Bill a few years ago, and he was said that it can utilise Australian data. It'll take it from our Weather Bureau, or it does take it from somewhere in regards to that. So it does do a heap of disease prediction models, Pythium, dollar spot, brown patch, and the likes. I think it does take all patch as well. So that one also does growing degree days, talks about different fungicides, efficacy of fungicides. So it puts a lot of information in regards to that on there. So that's one that if you're looking at model-wise, there is that available here. Obviously, I know there's a more results ones as well, but there are other ones here. There's another one as well, Turfmetrics. That's from Rick Lattin. So Rick Lattin is ex-Purdue University. He's now retired, but he writes the Bible on Understanding Turf Grass Fungicides, a book. I've had 2 copies of it. It's a brilliant resource book in regards to every turf fungicide that's out there. Not everything that's ever been out there, but they do talk about some older ones. They give you a bit of history on them, which I base a few talks on. But that one, so he's got one, Turfmetrics, and it talks about, and he uses the Smith-Kearns model, but also used a lot of his knowledge with regards to it. So I haven't really seen that. It is a paid one. I don't know if stuff from Australia can be used. So I'm not quite sure, but there's a lot of models being looked at, being developed. I know the lecturers were speaking about regarding wanting to do more funding in terms of this, and looking at more sort of soil-borne diseases and the like. So it's like dollar spot's a big issue here in the US. So even though in Australia we do have dollar spot, people do, we spray for it, obviously, we put in a program, and it can be bad at times of the year, but here in the US, they get it. It's prolific a lot of the times of the year. I even saw dollar spot on the golf course I went to yesterday, which had cooch greens. Don't ask me what type of cooch greens it was. I've got to find out. I still haven't found out that one. Okay. So rather than going, I'm going to turn you around and show you where I am. So, okay. So I'm just out of the Rosen Centre. So I'm just going to do a podcast here with Pat Jones, a mate of mine who I've had on the podcast before. So he's a freelance sort of journalist. Public speaker, expertise in everything to do with the turf industry. He knows a lot of people in the turf industry in the US and outside it, just from the amount of years he's been doing it. He's really, really nice guy, really genuine guy. I'd love to get him out to Australia. So I'm just going to do that very soon. But in terms of that going, so the model one was quite different. It was the first year they were doing it. I think next couple of years it'll sort of expand with understanding these these applications, these models that are available, and also maybe look at different drone technology and the likes and the mapping side of things coming to it. I think that's what I'm going to see a lot at the show this year, which I'll obviously bring you to it. The other talk I did was on soil-borne disease and prevention of them. That was an awesome talk. So that was with Jim Kearns and Joseph Young. Pretty sure Young is his last name. Joseph is from Clemson, and Jim Kearns is North Carolina NC State. So both of them deal with, similar to us. They got warm season fairways, cool season grasses where they are, but they also have warm season grasses, couch and bent, and they're sort of that transition zone. So they spoke a lot about these diseases. So mostly on take-all root rot, which we call ERI disease, but I think take-all root rot will be a better better terminology for it. I believe that's what we should be calling it. But up to everyone, but I'll probably put it in take-all root rot because I've got the Guanomyces causal agent of it, and there's about 5 different species of Guanomyces that actually cause take-all root rot. Now, they are all a little bit different. They are all some are weaker, some are stronger. So that was a lot of information that I didn't sort of know. It was one of those things, and they expect different cultivars and the likes like that. We didn't sort of go into too much in terms of that, but there was some information in regards to how different fungicides affect the Guanomyces. There's a lot of different fungicides there that work on ERI, work on take-all root rot, but it's like going, what species? So some work on one species better than another species. So it begs the question going, you might have to look at mixing some different fungicides together. The best chemistries were the DMI class, which is class 3 fungicides. They were the best ones for it. The strobilurins and the group 11 do work as well, but they were really saying that group 3 fungicide do work really, really well. The group 7 SDHI ones don't really work all that much for the ERI disease. So we got to look at the group 3 fungicides, which we have quite a lot of. We have, tridimino, propiconazole, metconazole, tridiconazole. I'm sorry, not metconazole. Another one of those I can't, up the back of my top of my head. It's been a longish day, but there is quite a few there. They also talked about the application of fungicides and the likes, and getting your product right to where it needs to. So watering in the product, going, look, getting it down past the thatch and first couple of inches, forget it. That's going to be very, very difficult. And if anything falls down there anyway, it's very little that actually leaches out with fungicides. A lot very different to, say, herbicides, I was saying, and the likes like that. The other side is like going, water in your fungicides as soon as you finish your applications. That's what it was needed. You need to water it in as soon as you finish to get the best result. Watering in that night, you can if you really need to. However, what they said is like going, if the product dries, if the surface is dry, you're not going to get anything down there. It's not going to water in. So if you want to water something in overnight, you got to keep that canopy wet. Wherever you do the spray, even with a higher volume of water, you've got to keep that canopy moist so the product just sits there. Otherwise, it's going to bind to plant material, bind to thatch, and that's where you're going to get the control. So that's one of the things there when you look at applications. Look, I'll do more information with my notes and everything like that. And said, please hit me up on the social media or private messages as well in regards if you want to know more about that, and I can send you some information, when I receive it and the likes. That's the other thing there. I also caught up with a delegate in the talk who's done a lot of, did his PhD on spring dead spot. So he's had some inbound information about how spring dead spot affects the different cultivars and the like. So it could be something there if you're looking at, if you've got kush greens and you're looking at resurfacing, doing different ones, might be some useful information in terms of that. But application was a big thing, and one of the things was like going, if you're putting something in and watering in, you're going to get good control as it comes down. And it is hard to get with warm season grasses. Like the canopy is such a tighter canopy than, say, bent grass or poa, that it is a lot harder to get product down. So that's why we need a lot of water. There is definitely a case for utilising wetting agents with them and with them or beforehand. That will help as well. Also look at maybe mini tine, solid tining an area as well, similar to what we do with fairing control, because we do talk about that. So mini tine, solid tine an area, and time your soreborne disease application in terms of that as well at the same time, just to help get it down there. And I did ask a question going, what if you go really deep with your solid toning? Does it matter? It's like, not necessarily. It'll just help break it up, get some oxygen through there and get product. You just need to get product to the disease target area for it to work. Timing is very critical as well. They talked about the incubation period, the latent period and the likes. That was pretty cool, because, and also with different water quality, especially with take all root rot and the likes going, it can be anywhere from, I think it was 2 weeks to 30 days for take all root rot diseases, and your water quality will affect that. If you've got bad water quality, you're going to get a shorter incubation period than if you had better quality water with the bicarbonates and the likes like that. So definitely look at that. And there was some really good information there with Jim. So I'm doing another talk with Jim tomorrow on the effects of climate change on turf. So that'll be pretty interesting in itself. And also I'm going to try to do a podcast with him as well. I think if I can do one with him during the week, it'll be pretty awesome. If I can't, I'm definitely going to hit him up. I'll do something on Teams and that, but he's going to be very interesting. The other side of it, I did from yesterday. I did finish my golf game. I played pretty crappy. Put you back. Yeah, did play pretty crap, except for I sunk a few putts here and there. We did play Ambrose, which was good, so it made my life a lot easier. But it was good to meet sort of the different PowerCure distributors in the US, also Canada, because they're registering there. So it was good to sort of keep in touch that way. So it's one of those things where I think that sharing of information for the guys obviously using PowerCure or looking at using it, learning more and more information. I've always said about PowerCure, there's no secrets. We're going to be telling you everything in regards to it, and just to get the best result out of it. But overall it was a good day today. So I've got to go off to make my podcast, so hopefully do that, and then I'll probably try to do that part 2, as I said, because it's stuffed up. I'll go back to the trade show, or to the area, and show you inside the conference center. If I don't do that today, I'll definitely do that tomorrow with the talks I'm doing. All right, guys, hope you're all well. Hope it's not too bad. The weather there, as you can see here, it's pretty good. It's a nice mild, about 23, 24 degrees. And I'm lucky to be here. All right, take care, and talk to you all soon.